Joe Jones in the running for Silver Gig, the headline on the screen read. Right beneath that, in italics, it read, "But should she be?" Emma huffed as she scrolled through the article for the 5th time. She didn't normally spend her mornings reading gossip columns about her boss, but earlier that week, Joe had had a meeting with the studio producing the next Agent Silver movie. As her assistant, Emma knew which appointments were on Joe's schedule, but not what happened within them. She wanted to know how the meeting had gone. The article didn't clear that up for her. Joe was on the short list, at least, but was apparently a terrible choice. No experience writing a movie, certainly not an action flick. It was like they forgot she was the showrunner of TV's top drama 5 years running. Sure, Innocence didn't have explosions or fight scenes, except that one time in season 2. But it was good. It was quality television. Joe had the Emmys to prove it. Not good enough for this columnist, though. He didn't come out and say it was because Joe was a Chinese-American woman. Instead, the article was filled with worries about too soft a touch and a concern she would somehow miss the truly American essence of Silver. Emma rolled her eyes. Joe was born and freaking raised here. Emma wasn't going to tell Joe about the column. While it might be good for Joe to know what people were saying about her, it would also be an unnecessary distraction that did nothing but hurt her feelings. Emma wouldn't bother her with it. Joe had more important things to do with her time anyway. The click-clack of Joe's heels came from the hallway, and Emma quickly closed the browser tab. She stood, tucking her long hair behind her ears. By the time Joe rounded the corner, Emma was ready with her coffee and a smile. "Thanks," Joe said, taking the latte without breaking stride. That didn't bode well for the day. Neither did her ponytail, high and tight enough to look severe. "Clear the afternoon for the both of us." Emma stopped analyzing Joe's hairstyle choices and grabbed her tablet off her desk. "Sure, boss," she said, pulling up Joe's schedule as she followed her into her office. Most of the afternoon was blocked off for writing. All Emma had to cancel was a check-in with an assistant producer. "What do we got?" "Dress fitting." Emma stopped in front of Joe's desk and looked up at her. She tilted her head, confused. "You need me at a dress fitting?" "Given that it's your dress fitting," Joe took a sip of her coffee, "that would be ideal." She set her purse on her glass-top desk, her long black ponytail swinging as she leaned over to take her laptop out of the bag. "Excuse me?" "You're coming to the SAG Awards with me on Sunday," Joe said. She sat behind her desk. "You'll need a dress." Working for Joe, Emma was used to expecting the unexpected. In her 9 months as Joe's assistant, she'd dealt with paparazzi and hate mail, overnight shoots and fans who'd loved Joe since she first appeared on their TV screens, almost 3 decades ago at 13 years old. Emma went to events with Joe, too, but those events were usually studio parties or advanced screenings. They were things Joe needed her at for work-related purposes. They weren't the SAG Awards. "I'm coming to the SAG Awards with you?" Emma's voice was higher-pitched than she'd like it to be. Joe arched an eyebrow at her. "Is that not what I said?" Emma nodded once. Why?" "I don't want to talk about that damn movie," Joe said, fluttering her hand like it wasn't all that important. So much for keeping Joe's focus off the Agent Silver rumors. Maybe Emma shouldn't push it, but Joe always told her to ask questions if she didn't understand something. "And I'm helping with that, how?" "You can cut in if anyone tries to talk about it," Joe said. "You'll be a buffer." Right. That seemed reasonable. Emma had been a buffer for Joe on multiple occasions, though never at an awards show, with a red carpet and a bunch of famous people. But if that was what it took to be good at her job, she'd do it. Emma had liked her 3 years as a production assistant in the props department. Being Joe's assistant was better.